Hi, this is my third video on YouTube, and it's been a few months since I last made a video. I actually don't wear glasses, I don't need glasses, these are fake. I've been struggling to make another video, and part of the reason is I'm very camera shy. I'm not used to talking to people in groups or in large scales, and I'm very aware that this isn't just a camera and I'm going to be putting it on the internet, which is something I'm trying to get past. The glasses kind of help, and they also make whatever I'm saying sound a bit more, people pay attention to people who wear glasses. I'm trying to use this YouTube platform to talk about stuff that's going on in Sri Lanka, because that's where my primary focus is. It's kind of been where my attention has been at for quite a few years now. I think we're all pretty much aware of some of the stuff that's been happening, but not very much. And the truth of the matter is that there are quite a lot of people working towards a better place to call home for the minority groups in Sri Lanka as well as the majority, basically anyone who lives in Sri Lanka, a better government, a better system. And these people, they're not heard very much about. Like, even though I'm very much interested in this, even I'm not aware of everything that's going on and all the hard work that's been happening. So I thought maybe I'd create a platform where we can all learn about it together, and we can talk about some of the stuff that's going on and what we can do as the diaspora community. And whenever I do have access to information, I invest a lot of my time in it, but I haven't been making anything out of it, which is why I thought this platform would encourage me to do something about some of the stuff that's going on. We don't really have many outlets that kind of talk about what's going on in Sri Lanka. I feel like when we talk about what's going on in Sri Lanka, it kind of focuses on the political issues, the government, more official things rather than the down on the ground kind of information. And there are a lot of people who actually work on the ground, a lot of activists, a lot of journalists, and a lot of them have Twitter accounts, which is what I love. I love Twitter for the fact that you can connect with these people on a one-to-one basis. I'm not talking to them or anything like that. I'm not that important, and they know what they're doing. But I love reading, what they're doing, and the stuff they share on Twitter about what's happening in Sri Lanka and stuff like that. We can all gather that kind of information. I mean, Twitter is a social media platform. Does anyone else agree that Facebook has kind of lost its touch? Even with keeping in touch with people, you kind of don't really use Facebook anymore. I don't see the point in Facebook being a social media platform when you're not really using it in an active way. Even if it's not for your personal reasons, even as a social cause, it's not very, I don't know, sometimes it is. It's kind of like, if it goes viral, then yeah, but if it's like a everyday kind of social activism kind of platform, I would say no, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of people who do really try hard to spread messages on Facebook, but it's just entertainment, and YouTube entertainment. So when I'm making a video on YouTube that's kind of serious, kind of to do with stuff that's controversial, and stuff that's kind of boring when you want 5 minutes of entertainment after uni or work or whatever, whatever important stuff you've got going on in your life. It's a dead end kind of channel, but I feel like that's not true as well, because as long as I feel like what's been lacking is that kind of connectivity within our community, within the diaspora Tamils. When I speak to people on one-to-one basis, everyone kind of has similar opinions and similar thoughts, and it's great when we're on one-to-one, but as a community we don't really have that connection all the time, and especially when it comes to Sri Lanka, which is still kind of new. I know it sounds really strange to talk about a country and their political issue as new when it's had a 30-year-long civil war and it's now come out of that, and recovery, quotation marks, is kind of on its way. I'm saying it's new because within our community we have yet to kind of come to terms with what's going on and what happened and stuff. I think it's very difficult to even like today talk about what happened without people criticizing you or questioning your point of view or who you are or your background or whatever. So yeah, we've got a long way to go, and I'm not going to touch on that right now. This video in particular, I thought I'd do like kind of as an intro, kind of as a way of me getting over my insecurities and my lack of confidence in making videos, trying to get used to talking to a camera and making content and actually talking about stuff that I think that we all can share. And like, I don't think I'm the only person who feels this way. I don't think I'm the only person who wanted to make something like this, but I have wanted to do this like for such a long time, many years in fact. I actually wanted to make videos on the internet about these kind of things since I was 16, and I haven't had that kind of encouraging background, like, you know, that kind of encouragement to do this kind of thing. I feel like this video is already too long. I just wanted to point out a few people on Twitter who are incredibly informatic. They talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on. I'm just going to throw some stuff out there that people, not everyone, like I know for a fact that none of my friends know about because we don't have access to this information. I don't think many of my generation watch IBC. I don't think many people pay attention to the news. Like as a child, when like my parents used to watch like Debum or like TTN or I don't know, like some other channel, like Diaspora Tamil channel, I just didn't pay attention to the news. It was so boring and it sounded like gibberish. I speak fluent Tamil and I completely understand news Tamil and like all of that, and I can read Tamil and everything, and I still find it extremely boring, even when I'm interested in Sri Lanka and stuff. So clearly there's some kind of communication problem there. There's something that needs to be addressed to make this more informatic, to make this more interesting. I know it sounds sad to say that you need to make news and issues interesting, but when you make something interesting, it shows that you care, and then you get people engaged in it. That's what I mean by making it interesting. I'm not an expert at this, and clearly with all my anxiety and everything, I'm I'm already like in pieces trying to get this together. Okay, let's get on to some of the topics. So I just wanted to address that today is May 11th, 2017, and in 2009, May was when the Civil War ended. The official date, I think, is the 18th of May, although I think we're aware that the weeks leading up to the end were quite atrocious. I'm not going to talk about the war crimes right now. That's a topic for another video. Again, these videos will kind of work with each other. Such a large topic, it's going to be scattered. I'm going to just work with what I've got, and yeah, I hope you guys can bear with me and like kind of travel with me through this. I want to talk about this Twitter page called International Truth and Justice Project Sri Lanka. I'm pretty sure they're like an organisation which kind of focus on different countries in the world, and this particular page is for Sri Lanka, and that's ITJP SL if you're looking for them on Twitter, and they've been tweeting images of basically people in Mullawaikal. They've been carving names of their dead family members on stone. As like a remembrance. To be honest, like I don't think many people got their bodies back after the war. Tamils are carving the names of their dead on stones as 8th anniversary of war end approaches, but still intimidated by Sri Lankan state. There's a bit of confusion between who actually died and missing people. I don't know how clear it is that these are actually dead people and there aren't more dead people, or like there aren't missing, you know what I mean, because there are still a lot of protests going on for missing people. Again, I don't have enough information about this. I find that really tragic. So like right underneath that on my Twitter feed, there's Udaya Shalin. I think he's a reporter. The government were celebrating the 8th anniversary of its war victory in Palali, and this was on the 8th as well, which you know, the whole concept is it's worrying, it's really sad. And again, I'll put these images up so that you guys can see. I don't know. How many of you find this kind of disturbing, that it was a civil war? It wasn't like it was two countries against, no, it wasn't like World War One or World War Two, where you had like one country fighting another country, and then like every time Britain won, like World War One, World War Two, and they have those. I don't know. Do we have that day when we celebrate that we won? Not really. We have Remembrance Day, on November 11th for World War One. And for World War Two, I don't think we really celebrate a day. Again, I could be wrong, but it's not as well known, right? Is what I'm saying. And we've lived here, like I've lived here my entire life. When Sri Lanka celebrates the victory of a war which was very internal, and the results of it are still like continuing 7-8 years on from the end, it's kind of like, why does the government encourage this kind of stuff? It's not okay, right? It's not about who I am, it's not about who you are, it's just the fact that this principle is kind of really sad. It was a civil war, it wasn't a international war, it wasn't an international conflict. If anything, the war itself was a loss for everyone, both sides, because the fact that so many Sri Lankan lives were lost, is a loss. It's not a gain. I don't see how this can be seen as something to celebrate, especially when the dead people can't even have like tombstones or like remembrance stuff. This video is already really long, so I'm just gonna read through some of the other things that I thought should be mentioned, and just for this video, and then we'll develop my like points of views and stuff like that, and discuss some of this stuff in like future videos. Okay, so another post by ITJP fears that Sri Lankan military intimidating locals in former war zone in advance of 18th May anniversary of end of fighting. That's a real fear. 8 years on, can the government really celebrate victory when this is what they're doing in those places still? So there's this woman, again ITJP retweeted this, and it was actually posted by Garikalan. I don't know who that is. I'm sure he's quite influential. I'm not sure who he is, sorry, I'm going to have to do my research on who that is. But okay, so the post is basically a story. So it says, Sadasivam Saraswati from Puvarasamkulam, Baunia, has been searching for her son S. Logeswaran. Met him in 2002 as a member of... Right, so she's saying that CID showed her his picture in 2014, and she believes that he's still alive somewhere in the detention camps, and she wants to see him before she dies. In 2010, she received a phone call, and she complained to like the agency and commissions to find him, but nothing's happened since. That's just one story out of so many. I'd say this comes down to war crimes. Holding people detained, yes, if they've done something wrong they need punishment, but what I'm saying is the punishment should be openly given. These people should be openly punished if they need to be punished, and by the law, which should be just. What is this kind of hide and seek business? Why is it all hidden? Why isn't it open? Why isn't this something that's on the news? I do apologise if this is really boring. I'm just trying to get my foot in it, and then we'll see how I can like make this more interesting. Something else ITJP tweeted, UNSG's report on conflict-related sexual violence quotes, and this is apparently page 25 of the report. So it says, 7 years after the end of its 30-year civil war, Sri Lanka has embarked on a process of transitional justice and reconciliation. Yet just as the conflict had a disproportionate impact on women's physical and economic security, the post-conflict environment has placed a heavy financial and care burden on women. Single women head 1/4 of all households. The plight is compounded by the sociocultural stigma attached to widowhood and to sexual violence, as well as by the limited psychosocial support available to those traumatized by war. The culture of violence entrenched during the Civil War era is viewed as a driver of continuing gender-based crimes, which afflict all 9 provinces. So this isn't just a Tamil people problem, this is a women across the country problem. The situation is exacerbated by weak law enforcement and delays in the administration of justice. In November 2016, the Committee Against Torture observed that serious allegations of torture of a sexual nature continue. The International Truth and Justice Project released a report documenting 20 cases of sexual violence and torture, including 8 gang rapes and 5 rapes of minors allegedly committed by members of police and military intelligence in 2015, and called for effective reform and vetting of the national security apparatus. The United Nations has requested that the authorities duly investigate the allegations. On 16th November, the government launched a national action plan to address sexual and gender-based violence, which generated a specific policy to support women-headed households, including in previously conflict-affected areas of the north and east. In January 2016, the government appointed a civil society task force to conduct a national consultation on the design of an inclusive transitional justice mechanism. The task force, which includes the voices of sexual violence survivors, has made valuable recommendations, including an institutional reform. I don't really know how to address everything that's going on in Sri Lanka, all the reforms, all the people who are actively trying to change the law. Yes, there has been a changeover. Yes, there is movement. Yes, there are changes happening. Not enough, not fast enough, not enough awareness around it. Okay, another thing. Illegal arrest continues in North. Persons claimed to be CID officials abducted an individual in Jaffna in a van without arrest warrant. That's April 12th. Alright, so considering this has been a very long episode, or rather video, I'm gonna leave it there. Leave your comments below what you think about some of the stuff I've spoken about. Tell me how you want these videos to be better. I'm sure I could do a lot of small things to make it better. And I promise I will get better at doing these, better at talking, better at engaging you guys, and just better at, putting this stuff out there. And yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try and make as many videos as I can, possibly one a day. I'm really going to try and push for that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.